Yo, what up? How we doing? What's Gucci? Welcome to the Wake and Bake Show. Let me see if I can do this shit off top. Your daily Philly sports, philosophy, vocabulary, motivational gaming show. And I'm a fancy clown. Did I get it? Did I get them all in? What's up? Good morning. Good morning, man. Everybody, gather around. Everybody, gather around. Get your coffees ready. Get your waters. Get your smokes. I got all of that. Except the coffee. I don't drink coffee. But yeah, y'all know how it go. We about to start off with a song.
Yeah, you can take my life, but you can't be me. Matter of fact, you can't even take my life. So many demons in my life these days. Everything I think about, I feel three ways. Seems like lately it's so hard to behave. Don't hit me up unless you're ready to repay. So many girls, I ain't trying to be safe. Trying to help the people gon' get me slayed. Get a Spotify, find a new DJ. Just cause of you, got new keys made. So many demons in my life these days. Everything I think about, I feel three ways. Seems like lately it's so hard to behave. Don't hit me up unless you're ready to repay. So many girls, I ain't trying to be safe. Trying to help my people gon' get me slayed. Get a Spotify, find a new DJ. Just cause of you, got new keys made. Everything you took from the old me. I inspired you, I was your OG. Trying to see you win, that's what drove me. But real talk broke codes, B. Now I'm getting kicked out the party. Texas to my hip like sorry. Texas to my ex like where are we? D nigga fake like Barbie. D
These
nigga
niggas
fake
fake
like
like
Ken.
him.
D
These
nigga
niggas not real men.
D nigga talking a lot of love shit. Now turn
Turn right around and do some fuck shit.
So many demons in my life these days. Everything I think about, I feel three ways. Seems like lately it's so hard to behave. Don't hit me up unless you're ready to repay. So many girls, I ain't trying to be safe. Trying to help the people gon' get me slayed. Get a Spotify, find a new DJ. Just cause of you, got new keys made. When you ain't had shit, I took you off the street. When you wasn't even hungry, I taught you how to eat. No time for the beef. Said fuck around and see. No time for the beef. Yeah, fuck around and see. Fuck around and see. Fuck around and see. No time for the beef, bro. Fuck around and see. Fuck around and see. Fuck around and see. No time for the beef, bro. Fuck around and see. So many demons in my life these days. Everything I think about, I feel three ways. Seems like lately I'm so hard to behave. Don't hit me up unless you're ready to repay. So many girls, I ain't trying to be safe. Trying to help people gon' get me slayed. Got a Spotify, kind of new DJ. Just cause of you, got new keys made. I just wanna sell a million records, go to heaven, yeah. I just wanna feed my brothers, learn to teach my nephew, yeah. Wanna beat the schedule and I wanna cheat the death too, yeah. Just forgot to bless you, yeah. Just forgot to bless you, yeah. Not for what we did, but for who he is. Yeah, life can test you, yeah. Yeah, life can test you, yeah. I say F the stress to try to keep a good book next to you. I say F the stress to try to keep a good book next to you.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing out there? Oh yeah, I ain't bullshitting. I'm getting right to it. First off, I got a couple of things I want to announce. Episode 125 of the TRM podcast just dropped. So feel free to go on over to Spotify or Apple or one of those other things and go and check that out. It's really special. I'm gonna be listening to it all day because I gotta go edit that bitch down. I also wanted to say, one of the viewers from yesterday hit me up and told me, "Hey, since you're not really playing games and shit, you should probably be using that screen behind you to show people stuff that you're talking about, like pictures, tweets, links, whatever, videos." So I guess today will be the first day that I'm gonna try to incorporate that shit. But what it really comes down to is like some certain amount of planning goes into this. So, I mean, if it looks simple, if it looks easy, I'm gonna try to do that shit. But if it's something where I feel like, I'm gonna have to put a couple steps into it, a preparation, then you will hopefully see it rolled out over the next couple of days. But anyway, let's get into the show. Today, the word of the day is renitent. Renitent. Not renitent. Renitent. That means resistant to pressure. It's an adjective, obviously. It means resistant to pressure, unyielding. Renitency is resistance or opposition, right? So it's not even resisting the opposition, it is the opposition. Renitency. Resisting constraint or compulsion, right? Another word they use for it is recalcitrant. So this was a tricky word for me, bro, because I read this word and I was like, oh, that's good. I know what to say about that. And then I thought about it and then I was like, wait a minute, it don't always gotta be good. In some cases, it's just a thing. What up? What up, Lindsay Pop LFE? Yes, sir. Yes, renitency. So, it's just basically, like I said, resistance to pressure, right? Resistance to pressure. So, I was looking at it like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. I still don't know. Like, I got a couple different examples though. So I guess we're gonna see how it plays out and shit. Anyway, Ben Simmons wants to play for the Sixers again. Y'all excited about that? We can have Ben Simmons back, man. We can have Ben Simmons back. See, all right. Here's the thing. I mentioned it yesterday, but what I didn't talk about was the fact that it actually got some traction and niggas is like accepting it of like niggas is really down with it, and I'm not liking that shit at all. It's actually bothering the fuck out of me. You know how it will look if we accept that nigga back here? Cause first off, he didn't show no fucking renitency, right? All he had to do was develop a shot. He didn't develop a shot. And then the playoffs came and all he had to do was make the free throws. He didn't make the free throws. And then the next season came and all he had to do was get rid of that weakness in his game because it was glaring, it was ugly. Other teams was fucking hacking the shit out of him in the playoffs. He didn't do any of that. That man showed absolutely no renitency, right? Now, what is it that he should have been resisting? He should have been resisting the urge to play PUBG. He should have been resisting the urge to go home and just kick it and chill and drive his cars around and shit. That nigga should have been practicing. He should have been really good at what he did. He had a whole bunch of talent, natural ability, team of people around him that wanted to see him do great, all the resources in the motherfucking world, and people who actually know ball in his circle. So, to me, it looks like that man decided I don't want to fucking play basketball. And I'm cool with that. That's fine. Get your money, B. But not here, not in my city, not for my team. And then when we traded him, actually no, this is before the trade. He complained about his back injury or whatever, which I can't really say much about that because injuries do happen. But he also admitted that there was a mental aspect to that injury. And then, listen, this is the best part. And then, once he claimed, I'm not ready to ball, and then didn't ball, got kicked out of motherfucking practice for being a distraction, had his phone in his pocket and all of that shit, didn't ball, and literally sued the fucking team. Now, I'm not sure if that shit fucked with the cap or anything like that, but I do know that for the James Harden trade, we ended up having to get some picks up, and I understand that too. But if y'all know, Ben Simmons was involved in that trade, so I'm looking at that nigga as responsible for those picks as well. So, he sued my team. He didn't show up when we needed him most. He never learned any skills that was going to get him to the next level. That man showed no renitency. He had an opportunity to resist the urge to play around with his money and his games and his girls, and he didn't. He literally didn't. So he displayed absolutely no renitency. Now, yesterday, Bryce Harper hit 300 home runs, my G. It was beautiful, man. It was actually very fucking beautiful. So I've been watching it kind of play out over the last couple of weeks. It was like the dude who calls the Phillies games, T Mac, Tom McCarthy. He he you could tell every time Bryce was having an at bat, he would start going into the this could be the one. He started out his career in Washington, and it's been a long road to make it over here to Philly. But these fans have embraced him. Strike one. And as he gets his stance ready, he currently leads the team in OP, and he's doing this whole building up thing because he's expecting this home run to happen. And he knows that when Bryce hits his 300th home run, there's going to be a bunch of motherfuckers replaying that shit. And he going to be the nigga on the call. And as a professional and somebody who values his job, he want to make sure that it's classic. He want to make some historical shit because he's about to call some historical shit. So for about 3 days, man, I don't watch this nigga just get gradually hyper, and then watched my man struck out. And then it was funny actually. So when it finally did happen, he was already done with all of that. Like it was 3 days later, and he didn't have it in him to keep doing the gradually hyper thing, gradually hyper. So when Bryce got that John, we was down by two in the bottom of the eighth. No, we was down by one in the bottom of the eighth, and he hit a 2-run homer. I think we had 2 outs too. That motherfucker's so clutch, man. It's ridiculous. It ain't nobody better for this city than that guy. Um. Anyway, Trey, he hit a homer. That boy hot as shit. He had a double too. But we lost the game. It is what it is. You can't win them all. It was a wonderful atmosphere. They were saying that when Bryce was at like 297, motherfuckers was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he wants to do this at home. I'm pretty sure he don't want to go play on the road and get 300 in somebody else's house. So it was cool. He actually did that shit at home, and he did it to take the lead. So it wasn't even just on some it was all for me shit. And he celebrated like a motherfucker. And then they asked him a bunch of questions after the game, and he was just saying, "Yo, I'm just so happy I could do that for the city." When he did it, bro. I don't, listen, it's a lot of you motherfuckers that don't watch baseball, but this is something that you probably never seen before. Star hits his home run, 300th home run, starts running around the bases, comes to go into the dugout, starts kissing his jerseys, starts kissing the Philly all over his jersey, starts kissing the Philly all over his jersey. And then they interviewed him after the game, and he was just like, "Yo, I love this city so much. I love everything about it. I love this team. I love being a part of this family. I love having the fans be a part of our family." Da 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 da. And he was like, "I know. I could go on forever. I know. Everybody thinks I'm pandering, but I don't care. This is genuine love." And he said that. He said, "I know everybody thinks I'm pandering." That nigga, no, he is locked in, man. I was just talking yesterday about how my man listens to the fucking sports talk radio on the way to work. What? That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. So right there, that is renitency. Because, all right, to be a sports athlete, right, to be a superstar, to be the face of a franchise, and be listening to all the criticism about you every day on the way to work, that right there, that takes some true resistance. Because one, you can't be taking that shit personal, right? Like that shit takes. Let me see. I'm gonna read another part of this definition. That shit takes an unyielding nature because you cannot resist, or sorry, you have to resist the compulsion, right? Because that's what it said. It said resisting constraint or compulsion. So you have to resist the compulsion to get mad and upset and take that shit personal and think they attacking your character. Nah. Instead, you have to show the renitency, right? To actually go out and be better, do better, be stronger, not take that shit personal. You know what I'm saying? Like actually work on your weaknesses. Actually hear the criticisms and use them constructively. That shit takes renitency. So on his in his case, I think that he was using renitency in a different way. Like he's resisting. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a star. He's resisting bullshit every single day, right? Ben Simmons didn't resist the bullshit. Not one day. He was even still clowning us in the playoffs, though. He was still trolling us in the playoffs, bro. Game 7 of the playoffs, this nigga posted a picture of us losing to the Celtics. Anyway, you know what's funny? I do want to read this Ben Simmons quote though, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to see if anybody complains that I don't. And if y'all do, then I'll read it. But I'm not going to read it. But basically, he was just saying I had the most fun there. I always have a special place in my heart for that city. Um, Philly is second home to me. He said, I mean, obviously it got complicated with the back injury stuff, and but at the end of the day, I feel like that would be the one place I would want to go back to if I was to get traded again. That's what Ben Simmons said. That's what he said. I think I did a good job of paraphrasing. So, all right, this one's kind of serious. I'm gonna keep it baseball. So Wander Franco, my nigga Wander Franco, bro. This boy is a shortstop for the Rays, and right now he is on administrative leave, so you can't watch him work. You cannot watch him work. His team is good. His team is great, but you cannot watch him work. You know why you can't watch him work? Because about a month ago, it was discovered that he was holding a relationship with a 14-year-old girl. Wander, Wander, Wander. I love that nigga's name. When I first heard his name, I'm like, Wander? That's a cool ass name, man. Baseball players got the coolest fucking names, man. Wander, Wander, Wander. So, maybe 3 days ago, I heard about this and I brought it up and I was like, damn, that shit's different. But I didn't do any research on it, right? I just kind of was like, okay. I know he's 22, and I know that there was claims of an underage girl being about 17 when they was in a relationship. And me personally, I was just like, okay, so if this was, let's assume this was in the last year, right? Let's assume it was last year. She was 17 last year, now she's 18 this year. He was 21 last year, now he's 22 this year. So I was like, my parents were 4 years apart when they got together. You know what I mean? When I was born, they was 4 years apart. I didn't think that was extreme. I still don't think that that's extreme. Um, so I was giving him a fucking break, bro. I was making excuses for this nigga. I was saying like, all right, 17 to 21, I've seen it before, you know, and it ain't gonna be the last time I see it. Yes, it may be illegal, but I've seen it before. It's not that fucking weird. It's not that uncommon. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. But this nigga was with a 14-year-old, and that's a big fucking difference. That's a huge motherfucking difference. Like, we talking eighth grader, right? Dead ass serious. Talking eighth grader. So basically, three girls stepped forward. They only specified the age of one girl, and the 14-year-old. That was the first situation. But then after that, it was like, oh, a couple of girls stepped, forward and came out and said, I had a relationship with him last year. I had a relationship with him a year and a half ago when I was underage. But only one of their ages was revealed. So she basically had a relationship with him at 17. Two others, I can't say. I don't know. They did not specify. But I have a question about this. And if y'all in the chat, I want y'all to answer this for me. Like, when did they find out that it was wrong? Like, at 17, they was still dating the boy, right? So what happened? Like, on their 18th birthday, they was like, this motherfucker's a freak. Or on their 18th birthday, they was like, I'm a woman now. I received all my maturity that I had been missing previously. And so you are a creep. I don't like what changed? What changed? Um because on their 17th birthday, they was fucking with this big MLB star and that was their boyfriend or whatever. But on their 18th birthday, they stepping out and saying, "Yeah, I was in a relationship with him when I was underage." And the thing is, like, you're underage, so there's no liability for you. But where's the fucking renitence though? Like, can you show some resistance? Can you not be compulsive? Can you show some restraint? Now, I'm not victim shaming. I'm not victim shaming. What I'm doing is I am asking and I'm wondering, how is it that at 17 you think it's cool, but at 18 you calling people talking about, yeah, it happened to me too. Now, don't get me wrong. If you feel victimized, go ahead, speak up, be courageous. But if this was your boyfriend and y'all was in a consensual relationship and Now, 6 months later, you see his name in the news and you like trying to pull some attention or some clout out of it. That's different. I don't know. But like I said, I don't want to victim blame because I don't know what goes on to these things. That nigga got a lot of power and influence. You know what I'm saying? He's young, but he still got a lot of power and influence. And sometimes, people can get taken advantage of. So I don't want to sit there and blame nobody. But I'm just simply asking, what took place between him and the girls that he was formerly in a relationship with to make them say, "Oh, you're wrong. You're not correct in these actions." Um, I really don't understand it, but maybe it's not for me to understand. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: those girls showed no renitency, and neither did he, because that nigga's got a habit. You do something once, all right, forgiveness is in order. You do something twice, okay, we need guidance, we need coaching, we need accountability. You do something three, four, five, six, 7 times, all right, my nigga. Indeed, that's what has to happen. As a girl goes from 17 to 18, I'm sure that there's a little bit more maturity that's happening. But I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, you was cool with it at 17 and 6 months, but you wasn't cool with it at 18 and 1 month. Why? But you know what though? I'm gonna be honest with you. I came up to something. I came up with something in my own mind, right? I think he just mistreated him. That's what I think. That's my own just guess, right? Shooting in the dark here. I think he mistreated him. I think if not like 14, I don't want to speak on that. But say you had a girl who was 17 years old, he was 21. I mean, she could have easily turned 18 and still been his girl, right? But nah, he probably mistreated her. Probably didn't actually like take care of her, or show her any love or respect or anything like that. So that whole shit probably plays a lot into it for her to be willing to come up and you know testify to get his ass in trouble. So yeah, that's a whole thing though. But like I said, that nigga's on administrative leave. Um, Now this is something. All right, I'm gonna try this real quick. I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna try to show y'all niggas a video. This is still on the sports subject, and we still talking about renitency. Now this is actually a case that is tricky for me because this is a case of renitency on both sides. Like these, both of the people involved in this situation are being renitent, and I can't figure out which one is being overly so, and which one is being the right amount of renitent. No, I typed the wrong name, man. So I don't know if y'all heard of this boy, Jacob Copeland. I don't know shit about ball. I actually got this video from the homie Cyrene, I think, but it made me feel some type of way. And when I saw this word yesterday, I literally thought of this video and was like, wow, what a good example of that shit going two ways. It's working on both sides. I guess this the best one, right? Fuck the commercials. Fuck the commercials. My TV been on this whole time, yo? I'm sorry for that. I apologize, guys. Shit. I hope that ain't make like for a terrible sound this whole morning.
For the next 3 to 4 years.
All right, wait. Now peep the subtleties.
But I like now that I'm taking my time to for the next 3 to 4 years.
All right. Him, judging from the nigga standing over his shoulder, that's his daddy, right? Judging from his face, because look at their eyes and look at their nose. Them niggas is the same nigga, right? One just darker with dreads. So that's his daddy, and I think, right? And that's his daddy's new woman, the white chick, right there. You see her? She about to cry and shit. This shit don't got nothing to do with her, and she about to cry. All right. Who are the other two lighter colored folks? I don't know, but I'm assuming that's his daddy, right? And that's his stepmom. Now the lady to the left of him, that's his mama. She got on an Alabama hoodie. She got on a Texas hat. Daddy got on a Texas shirt and a Texas hat. It looked like a Texas hat. It's definitely the color, right? The little girls, I'm guessing that's his sister, she got on Bama. The other girl sitting next to mom, she got on Bama, right? And you see this man right here with 3 hats in front of him. So, all right, I'm gonna let this shit play out, okay? All right, so stepmom cried. Daddy started clapping.
Great. You got so, Jacob, you're going to Florida. Who just got up and left there? And to your right, who got up and left?
Now look, mom's then she already darted. She gone. She skated off the scene. But whoever that was sitting next to mom, that might be auntie, that might be grandma. She didn't expect mom to react like that, and she riding with mom because you see she got up, she got her purse too, but she stopped. She stopped in her fucking tracks, and she looked at dad being supportive. Look at her, looking at dad. Looked at dad being supportive. Looked at stepmom and the emotion. You know what I'm saying? She's emotionally overwhelmed. She gives a fuck. Look how much she gives a fuck. Matter of fact, that looked like his coach and shit over there. His coach is watching this whole thing play out. Look at this dysfunctionality play out.
Oh, that was my mom.
And why did she walk out and leave?
I don't know. I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah, it is. I don't know.
Jacob, we saw her wearing the Alabama sweater there. What were those conversations?
They said, why she leave? He said, I don't know. They said, we know, nigga. We see why she left. All right, back to it.
It's like with her about where you were going to school.
We had a lot of conversations back and forth about where I should go to school at, but it was like God let.
Conversations back and forth. That means arguments. That means arguments. That means opposition. That means it was some renitency on both sides.
Me and my gut, and God led me in the direction that my heart desired. So I followed along with it. I couldn't go with my mind. I wanted to go with my heart. So from there on out.
I'm not sure just because of his accent. I don't know if he said I couldn't go with my mind. I had to go with my heart. Or if he said I couldn't go with my mom. I gotta go with my heart. Oh, let me see.
And God led me in the direction that my heart desired. So I followed along with it. I couldn't go with my mind. I wanted to go with my heart. So from there on out.
Oh, they can hear him. They clapping for him.
My decision that I wanted, and that's what I choose.
Jacob, you referenced on Twitter yesterday, I saw the post about
Dad's hat still has the tag on it. I know that's something that all niggas do, but he also possibly could have bought that hat today. And look, OG, who could be auntie or mama, you know what she did? She did not mama, sorry, grandmama. She did not go and ride with mom. She actually went over and stood next to dad. She peeped his support and said, you know what? This young man is going to be a goddamn millionaire. I need to support his ass too. I mean, it might not be because of the money, but shit.
it would have been very emotional. You talked about how you had been crying the night before, agonizing about this decision. Can you just walk us through how you eventually got to this decision and what this process has been?
All right, that's enough of that. That's all I really wanted to show y'all. So like I said, my issue that I have with these words is I want to use them in my everyday life. And so I want to try them on for size. I want to put them in different situations and see if they fit well. So with the renitency thing, I was like, is it good? Is it bad? The connotation, is that usually seen as a good characteristic or a bad characteristic? So when I brought it up with Ben Simmons, I was saying he had none, and it sucked that he had none. When I brought up Bryce, I was saying he had a lot, and it was good that he had a lot. But on the other side of the Ben Simmons things, that motherfucker resisted getting good at something. So he actually had a lot of it too, but it wasn't good that he had a lot. So now I get this situation with this Jacob Copeland character, and his mom clearly had a lot of renitency, right? She was obviously very opposed, and she was down to fight for everything to the last minute. But you know what? He was as well. They both displayed a immense amount of renitency there, and I don't know if it's the best thing for either of them, to be honest with you. Anyway, I took my boy to go play baseball yesterday. He's getting bigger. He's 10 years old. Um my nephew. I don't have any sons or kids or anything, but my nephew, I took him to go play baseball yesterday. I was just I guess you could say I was excited to see how well he was able to do a lot of the stuff cuz we only practice here and there. I mean, I don't got him doing like everyday drills or anything like that. I haven't been renitent enough. But it was fucking encouraging. I will say. I was pitching to him, he was hitting them bitches. I was playing catch with him, he was catching them bitches. And then we actually did a little bit of pitching practice, and he was beaming them bitches. We ran into a little kid at the park who said, "Can I play with y'all?" Yeah, I don't know nothing either. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to see, from the outside looking in, and see where the renitency plays into all of this. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot more going on, but I'm only trying to focus on that one aspect of it because I don't even think I'm capable of seeing all the rest of it. So anyway, um, there was a kid who walked up in the park next to our house, bro. It's so much soccer. Everybody plays soccer. It's like a huge field, and on one side of the field, it's a whole bunch of like South American, Brazilian, like Portuguese, El Salvadorian, like Mexican, like Puerto Rican homies and shit, and they all playing soccer. They got their Messi jerseys, they got their Neymars and shit, right? And then on the other side of the field, you got a whole bunch of like West Indian and like Haitian and Jamaican and like African boys. You know what I'm saying? And they all playing soccer, right? It's crazy. There's a baseball field and not one person is on it. So I go in there, a full ass park brimming with people, but I'm the only motherfucker who wants to toss the baseball, right? So me and my boys tossing the baseball for about maybe 2, 3 hours before a kid walks up to us and is like, "Can I play with y'all?" I was like, honestly, and it was crazy because we was about to leave. I was like, well, I just sat down. I'm about to leave. We're about to leave, but y'all could go ahead and play if y'all want to play. I'll chill here. So my young boy, the boy said, "I don't know how to play baseball." I watched my young boy teach him how to play baseball. I watched my young boy teach him the little makeshift rules that we had to our little one-on-one game. And then after they started, going against each other, after about maybe 20 minutes, the young boy, the other young, not my kid, the other young boy was tossing the ball a little too soft. Like he was trying to, like in the strike zone, they were straight, but they was falling. They was falling before they would get all the way to where my young boy could hit him. My young boy, he dealt with it for about maybe 3 or 4 swings, and then he was like, "Oh, we got to do some pitching practice." Stopped the game, walked over to the kid, put the ball in his hand, and was like, "All right, here, I'm gonna put a square on the wall. Hit it inside of this square. Throw it hard." I was like, word. They did the little pitching practice, about maybe 10 throws each. And then he was like, "All right, game on." Went back. Young boy pitched him a pitch he could hit. My young boy crushed that motherfucker, bro. I was so goddamn proud. It was amazing. It was amazing. Why did I tell this story? What it got to do with anything? Well, my young boy, I was proud because he's a teacher. You know what I'm saying? I was also proud because he's competitive and he got the skills. But it was also the renitency. Like it was literally the the desire for him to want the other guy to do well enough so that he could do well. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, I need you to give me something I could hit. So even though we playing this game, I'm gonna stop and teach your ass to throw better so that this game could be a better game. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I thought my young boy was a little shyer than he is. He's not. That was cool. Yep, yep. And now I know what my young boy know. Like I didn't know he knew so much. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So then I took a little walk. I came back and I was like, how y'all doing? He walked over to me, like took me to the side and was like, yo, he claims he never played baseball again, but this boy is hitting. I was like, what? So I sat down and watched him and shit. And the young boy definitely was hitting. That young boy that never played baseball before, he could definitely hit and he could catch. He put the glove on the wrong hand, yo. He put the glove on the wrong hand and caught the ball with it. I was like, my guy, you're throwing with your right, right? All right, you got to put the glove on your left. It was funny. It was beautiful though. His dad actually came over and sat and watched us and shit. His little brother came over and introduced himself. It was dope. It was real dope. Um, I didn't even want to fucking go yesterday. My young boy was like, uh, can I go outside? And I was like, yeah, you can go outside. And then he opened the door and all the sun came in the fucking house. And I was like, yeah, I should probably go take him somewhere. So I'm glad I showed that renitency. That shit paid the fuck off, man. And I'm excited. I want to do that shit again. Probably today I'll take him back. Cause it was also cool. Cause like it was like the whole world in there was soccer, and I done stole somebody's child. Somebody's child was there for soccer. I brought him over to the baseball, baby. So yeah, we out here, man. We setting trends. I'm telling you, I am part of the reason that all these Phillies games are selling out. I'm telling you, I got a lot of fucking influence. Um, anyway, so I'm gonna get off sports and shit now. Um, have you guys ever heard of intuition coaching? Intuition coaching. All right, so I was doing a little bit of research yesterday on I guess how different entrepreneurs are making their money lately, and apparently there's a new field out here for rich motherfuckers, famous motherfuckers. They're going to something called intuition coaches. Now, I know motivational coaches, I know motivational speakers, and I know life coaches, and I see how all those things kind of connect and shit. But these intuition coaches actually have like an emphasis on teaching you how to figure out what you want. Let me say that again. They charge you 15K per hour to help you figure out what you want. Now, I'm sure that that relates to the word that I'm using, but I don't know, man. I'm not really sure how I should be reacting to that. I'm not really sure what I should be saying about that. But I do know this. For you to be at the top of your career, for you to have a great family, or for you to even have any family, for you to have a whole lot of expendable income, but still not know what you want, that's a scary thought to me. That's a real scary thought to me. In this world, I like to believe that I know what I want. I can't say I've always known what I want, but I definitely know what I want. And I also know what I don't want. So I read that and that shit just struck me like, wow, this motherfucker's walking around with all the money in the world to spend, who are doing great at their job, crushing shit day after day, who still don't know what they want. That's some shit to think about, my G. That is some shit to think about. Anyway, I got one example, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give the quote and get ready to wrap this shit up because I want to go fly planes. Uh, so I have some person in my life, right, who I depend on sometimes, not quite. as often as I probably could or should, but sometimes I depend on this individual. But this individual depends on me a lot, a fucking lot, right? So basically, I borrowed this person's car, so to speak, and it's convenient for me, and I like it. I like it because it helps me along in my day and whatever. But I don't need it. Don't get me wrong. I don't need it, but it's convenient for me. And they offered, but um they also kind of need me to take care of it for them at times, right? So they give me this car every once in a while. I drive it, and then I hold on to it until they got something that they need it for again, because they don't got nowhere to store that shit. They also don't have no block that they can park it on and just leave it there. So I know that I'm helping them out by taking the car off of their hands for a couple of days. But I know that it's helping me out too. So I don't complain about any of the inconveniences that come with the exchange and the relationship. But just recently, this person just started bringing this joint to me. And they always brought it to me low, low, low. But they just started bringing it to me on E over and over. And the thing is, I ain't even got no issue with that. Because if that's a part of the understanding, like if that's a part of the deal, I can look at it, even if we don't discuss it. I could see you doing it. I could look at it and I can objectively say, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I ain't even mad at that. We could rock with that. That's a part of the deal. I'll hold that up. But in this case, I wasn't like that. I was like, hey, yo, I really need you to do me a favor and stop bringing this joint over here on E. Because every time you bring it over here on E, I'm stuck with it. Like, it's an inconvenience now. I am afraid to drive the shit. It actually stalled out on me the other day, and it's becoming a problem in my life, right? Now, I don't need it. I don't need it. So it's now getting to the point where it's no longer helpful, right? Now it's just, okay, you're getting a lot of help from me doing it for you, and you leaving me in a position where it can't even help me, right? So this is no longer a win-win. So I explained this to this person. I explained it to him because I can be renitent at times too, right? I can be resistant, you know. So they basically didn't acknowledge any of the shit that I said, and instead of even hitting me back about what I said, because it was a text, you know, you can call that passive aggressive if you want, but usually if I'm a complain about a bunch of shit, I'm gonna either call you, which I did, motherfuckers ain't answer, or I'm gonna send it in a long ass text. I ain't gonna leave a voicemail though, cause niggas don't never get those. But I sent it in a short text. I made it real pithy. I got to the point. So concise. So I send that John, and this individual doesn't respond to my text message, and then the next day they respond to my text message, and they say, "What you mean?" And the thing was, I felt like I'd explained very clearly what I meant, and I don't think it was any other way to explain it. So I thought about it and was like, well, what do I mean? And then, before I got a chance to even say what I meant, this motherfucker is dropping off the car, calling me from the car, saying, yo, I'm on the way. You want this shit or not? So the thing was, I felt like that shit that I said didn't get acknowledged. So I was just like, nah, not at all. Now, if this individual, who can also be renitent in their own right, if they would have been able to quell my concerns, communicate with me openly, and say, okay, that's not something that I'm able to do, but I would like to, and I understand why you would like me to, right? Even that, I'd have been like, okay, well, now I understand that that's something that you're not able to do. So I can reevaluate this whole situation and decide if it still works out for me. But that never happened. So I basically had to be like, okay, can't fuck with you. Can't do it. I'm sorry. As much as I am convenienced by the car, and as much as I would like to help you in life, I can't be put in a position where I depend on you because you are not considerate. That simple. So I had to be renitent as fuck because that car was helpful, but I had to stand on my shit because I can't let a motherfucker take advantage of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that was my personal example that I wanted to give of my renitency and how it's working out in my life. Now, 5, 10 years from now, maybe I could come back and be like, damn, I shouldn't have been that way. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see how that shit play out. Hey, man, thanks for the follow, the chickenologist. I appreciate you. Chickenology. What school you went to for that? All right, so let me get into these quotes. Change is never painful, only resistance to change. I think that's bullshit. I'm gonna just get right into it. I think that's bullshit. All right. That was some Buddha nigga that said that. Now, this person seems to have said the opposite. Resistance is the first step to change. That was Louise Hay. I can see how that works. Now, Teal Swan said it like this. It ain't pretty, but I believe it though. Resistance is not bad or wrong. It must be resolved, but it always exists for a very important reason. All right? Let me say it again. Resistance isn't bad or wrong. It must be resolved, but it always exists for a very important reason. Because, you know, resistance is discord. Resistance is disharmony, right? Now, some regular ass nigga who is some like medical tech or some shit. This nigga said, the path of least resistance is often appealing, but is rarely, if ever, satisfying. I like that. Let me say that again. The path of least resistance is often appealing, but it's rarely, if ever, satisfying. So, that means life is going to be full of fucking discord and a whole lot of fights and shit. Even if you got to fight yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to fight your social group or your community or whatever. All of that shit is absolutely necessary for our growth, our maturity, leveling up, glowing up, whatever the fuck you want to call it. All of that shit is absolutely necessary for greatness. It is. I think that renitency is more necessary for greatness than it is not. I think having the skill is more important than not having the skill. I think having the tendency to be that way could become a weakness, but having it as a skill can definitely be exercised like a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, y'all be good. I'm about to get the fuck out of here. But before I leave, I need to tell y'all, thanks for showing up. Please drop a follow if you're not following me already. I got a YouTube page where all of this stuff is getting reposted to. That is A Fancy Clown, all one word. Obviously, you're here on Twitch, A Fancy Clown, Twitch TV. And I also have a podcast, TRN Podcast. That joint is on Spotify, Apple, and all your podcast places. And if you do go listen to that joint, I need you to give it 5 stars, write a review for me, because that shit really helps. Really helps me get found, really helps with the algorithms. And also, if you're on socials, go check out the TRN Podcast on Twitter. We running shit over there. And you know they paying niggas to tweet now too, right? So I'm taking this shit serious. Anyway, with all of that said, man, thank y'all for kicking it with your boy. If y'all got any feelings or opinions on how this shit went or how it's gonna go, let me know, because I'm basically here for y'all. So, yeah. Y'all have a wonderful fucking day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, 10 o'clock, bright and early. Peace.